everyone, Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Real Talk, where we give you the real tea on DXB Realty. This is Duha Isaid, your host, and our guest today is Tanvir from Better Homes and specifically the CRC division of Better Homes. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So, first of all, explain to us what is the CRS division of Better Homes and what basically that department comprises.
So CRC is a company under the Sencorp Group, which basically, to boil it down, we're the commercial division of Better Homes. Okay, Better Homes is the name that most people know. So CRC, they have just won the Commercial Brokerage of the Year award from Bayut, and you could say we're basically leaders in the commercial market in UAE.
I love
So
that.
it's not only Dubai itself. Many people think it's just here.
Oh, it's all the Emirates.
All the Emirates.
Oh, okay.
So I was near Ajman the other day and working on a factory. I would be anywhere in Dubai, wherever they need us, basically. Myself individually, I just, consecutively for the last, I think, 4 or 5 months, I've been on the #1 spot on Bayut in JLT.
Let's go.
So I've been winning that award consecutively for, I think, it's been about 5 months now.
Mashallah.
I stopped counting.
God bless. God bless. God bless. That's amazing. I love that for you.
Somebody's on top of me right now, but I've got to work back up.
But you're
so
gonna get there.
for sure. I'm monitoring it. So
I love that. I love that.
I
So-
give other people opportunity.
I've actually known Tanvir for a pretty long time, and it's amazing to see just the escalation and the progress that you're doing.
Mutually on both sides. I
Appreciate
you guys
it.
started up, and mashallah, you're doing very well.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
always watching your. I love the podcast stuff you guys are doing. I'm actually quite honored to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. We really, really like this actually means so much to me. You don't
Yes,
even
sir.
understand. So let's get straight to it. Talk to me about the commercial landscape in Dubai, in UAE. What are the market trends? Where should people be looking at? We don't really cover commercial, so you're gonna lead this conversation.
You cover it through me, don't worry. I've got you covered.
Love that.
Commercial is booming. It is or has been booming for the last, God knows how many months. JLT, which I've mentioned, I work mainly in. That place, that location itself, being a free zone, it has, you could say, doubled in price. Some of the buildings have tripled in price.
Tripled
Yes, tripled from last year. So we're not even talking over
in a
period-
year.
In I'd say about 18 months. So you could say even the Messiah Business Avenue, which you could say, let's say the most affordable out of the options in JLT, that we used to sell, I think from off the top of my head, it was about 400 or 500 per square foot. I right now have units listed there at 1,300, 1,400 per square foot.
No way.
So if anybody had invested in, let's say, 2023, 2024, they've made their money back.
They've made way
They've-
more than that money back.
They've literally tripled.
So explain to the audience what a free zone is, because you say JLT is hot because it's a free zone, but not everybody gets that language.
So with a free zone, you have certain restrictions. They're basically for mainly for like import and export. Now we're quite lucky with JLT. It's been voted by the World Free Zone Authority as the #1 free zone in the entire world,
No way.
and this is on our doorstep.
Wow.
Imagine. So, and this is not just a one-time thing. It's happened over and over again. So JLT itself, it's you have to have a DMCC license, okay, and it's a very strong license. It's something that opens up other avenues for you when you're dealing with banks and clients and things.
And what criteria do you need to cover to get that license?
It really comes down to what your business activities are and sort of what the background of the owners are. DMCC or Concordia will do a lot of checks on the people applying for the license, but it's well worth it. As in comparison to, let's say, a mainland license.
Just like ours.
So yours here, as a real estate company, any business operating for a profit within the UAE will have basically a DED license. So if you're, for example, you open a shop somewhere, okay? you're getting goods in and you're selling them to the market here in the UAE, you will have, generally speaking, a DED license. There's other avenues where you can get branch licenses on other things in free zones, but it's a bit more technical. To keep it simple, if you're operating for a profit and your clientele is in the UAE, you will have a DED license. If you're, for example, importing goods and not selling it here and then exporting straight away, then you can generally operate in a free zone.
So all your clients are free zone license owners.
Yes, so in JLT, everybody will have a DMCC license.
So you can't buy unless you have a DMCC license.
No. For anybody investing, so an investor can still buy. You don't need a trade license to invest.
Oh,
in
you mean
JLT.
to operate business?
To operate
Okay,
business,
okay,
yes.
got it. But
Exactly.
anyone can buy.
Anybody can buy it. Yes,
Okay.
it's freehold land. So you will own the property that you pay for. Leasehold is a different sort of topic, which we'll cover. It's industrial generally. Certain areas that you'll have to lease the land, but then the building on that land you will own. Anything you construct.
Okay, very informative. I didn't know
Yes.
that. You mentioned leasehold for industrial. Do you want to expand on that? You mean warehouses, correct?
Warehouses, warehouses are the easiest to explain. So, for example, you've got JAFSA, okay? JAFSA.
Jabal Ali free zone.
You would go to the JAFSA authority, ask them, you've got this plot of land, for example. By the way, there's not really any availability. This is hypothetically speaking. At the moment, JAFSA have pretty much released everything, and it's under ownership or under lease.
So is that Jabal Ali Hills?
Jabal Ali as a whole. So
all of it.
Like with the free zones, it gets very technical. It's a separate topic in itself.
Got it.
So coming back to it, what you would generally do, you'd go to JAFSA authority. For example, we're leasing this land for this number of years, like 99 years, and you would pay them a rent for that piece of land, and then you can build a warehouse or something on top of it.
So it's all leasehold. There's no freehold.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Certain areas you do have freehold land, but it's now very expensive and pretty much unattainable. People aren't selling it. You might have heard the recent announcement. I think it's Jeddah. They've
freehold. Yeah.
Yes,
people made money overnight.
Yes.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Anybody who had that, they're millionaires.
Crazy, yeah.
Well, they've gone above millionaires.
I had a client who wanted Jeddah 3 years ago, and the reason she didn't take it was because it's leasehold.
Yeah.
She called me.
Yeah.
She called me, literally crying. She's like, "Why didn't I take it?" I'm like, "I didn't know it was gonna be freehold, babe."
This has happened with so many people.
Yeah.
Again, coming back to that Mazaya example or JLT example, people a few years ago were saying, "Oh no, it's a free zone. We don't want this. That is it too expensive?" They're crying.
You're telling me again the numbers. It went from
400 per square foot. Right now, I have got for sale 1,300 per square foot. So 4,812. Yeah, more than triple.
Yeah, that's more than triple.
I just sold an office actually, which was I've sold two actually in Mazaya, 1,000 per square foot because they were tenanted. The rent was low, but even still, investors are buying them at these rates
because they know it's still going to appreciate.
Yes,
You think this 1,300 is the limit?
No.
It's still
there's no more availability. So it's like a monopoly. Commercial in Dubai is a monopoly. They're like JLT, you cannot expand it anymore. JLT is JLT. Everything that is there is gonna. I mean, they might be able to construct one or two more buildings, but I don't think there's much land there.
No, there isn't. I think Ellington just built the last available land.
Yeah. So in terms of commercial in JLT itself, there's not really going to be anything else. So anybody who owns that, it's like a golden nugget. People are paying prices through the roof. We just done a sale in JBC4, which is probably one of the nicest buildings in JLT, Jumeirah Business Center 4, and it was at 2,500 per square foot.
2,500 per square foot.
Which, if I told you, I think we had about 6 months ago, people were buying there 2,000 per square foot, and that felt like a lot of money at the time. 6 months down the line, we just sold 2,500 per square foot. Something that
in
happened
6 months.
In 6 months. Just one of my colleagues actually, he sold an office. It was I think December last year. at around about 17 or 1800 per square foot.
Mm-hmm.
The owners, seeing the potential that was they could get for it now, they bought it for their own use, but they've decided to sell at now 23 or 2400 per square foot.
You're talking, okay, these numbers are a bit mad.
Yeah.
So you're talking spans of what? 6 months? What's the
6 months, a year. What's happened? I'll tell you what's happened with
Am I sleeping on commercial?
I don't want to say it.
These
commercial
numbers are pretty good.
Commercial has made people a lot of money.
Wow.
And anybody who hasn't gone into it has unfortunately lost.
Lost. So I want to ask you something. What about JVT? Do you think that?
JVT doesn't have. JVC has commercial coming in. JVT's got potential in terms of what we've seen. Now we're talking a bit more into off-plan and residential, okay?
That's the thing. I made an investment, but I backed off in JVT, retail shop off-plan. Why? Because there isn't any. You go around JVT, there isn't. It's mostly villas and hotels. So
how much was it per square foot? Do you remember?
It was 1.7 million and it was
For-
like 700 square foot. Can you do the math?
1.7.
1.7 million
Okay.
payment plan.
On a payment plan,
Mm,
and it was 700 square foot.
700 square foot.
2400.
It's a bit expensive, yeah?
No, not for you. This is the thing. You're saying the same thing that people were saying a few years ago, right? So
I would have made money if I didn't back
you
off.
could going forward. Right now, you probably wouldn't make much immediately in terms of a profit. But retail units are heavily in demand now. People are
So
going
what's the
into it.
difference between retail units, office units?
So retails are like shops.
So you can't like just buy commercial and decide what it is. It has to be decided beforehand.
Yeah, you want to look at commercial is a, how can I put it? It's like sort of an advanced investment. Most people are used to in Dubai buying residential.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels
That's
safer.
That's what the hype is, right? There's a lot of hype in Dubai. With retail and offices, and these are sort of your next stage. If you know what you're doing, you would go into it. To be honest, some people are coming in as first-time investors as well, but they've just done their maths. Now
They just know the numbers properly. They crunch them.
that's it. You've got people who will sit there and do a lot of number crunching before they go. Different types of investors. Some people are buy sort of, you know what, I'm comfortable. I'll go in and I'll take the risk. Those are the people that you generally see. They get a higher payout going forward as well. It's a bit of give and take. Some people lose, some people don't.
Of course. So you said you have listings in JLT for 1,300 per square foot,
Yes, that's probably one of my cheapest.
and
That's the cheapest building.
and that's still growing.
Yeah, I've got another one which is 5,000 per square foot.
Wow.
Almas Tower. It's like
I know it. Pretty nice tower.
that building is full. It's basically for precious metal trading, like gold, diamonds, things like that. So at any given time, that building is full of sort of precious metals.
So who's the biggest player? Office, retail, warehouses?
Depends on your strategy. It depends on what your investment amount is and what you want to do going forward. What you have to understand is with offices, you'll have a particular type of clientele. Retail, for example, let's put things into perspective, okay? So an office, let's say in Mazaya, okay? So Mazaya is a grade C, or you'll have some grade B buildings. Generally, with these kind of buildings, you normally get people going in for like a year, max maybe 2, then they'll move on to another office. With retail units, shops, somebody's going to open a mini mart or a F&B place or something like that. They'll be in there for 4 or 5 years before they will look to move somewhere else. On that basis, your investment into a retail is a lot more, okay? Because you have to get the extraction fans. Sometimes you got to upgrade the power up.
Bigger appetite.
Yes, so and then the rent is generally a lot more in retail as well. But then as if I'm the investor, I've got to be able to really analyze the type of client coming in, because they're going to be with me for a long time. I need to really know what I'm doing. Is this going to be the right type of client for my retail unit? Right? So your retail units are sort of another stage 2, let's say, in your sort of commercial investments.
No, that makes total sense. Speaking of the clientele that comes into your retail unit and rental, what is the projected or the current ROI for retail?
Investors in general are aiming for about 7 or 8% ROI.
Okay, so it's similar to residential, but then the
Yeah.
capital appreciation is where the
Capital
difference is.
appreciation is a lot, and you'll also look at things. So, for example, where retail, if we're talking about ROI, I mean, I don't know, with residential for you guys,
Well,
you
it
do
goes it goes up to like 10
okay.
on long term. Short term can even hit like freaking 20.
Yeah.
You know?
Airbnb, I think, as
Yeah,
well. A lot
it's
of people are
mad,
doing it. Yeah.
mad.
So, for example, with us or with you guys now, when you're doing a residential contract, would you do like a 2, 3, 4 year lease, or would it just be a 1 year?
Ideally 1 year, because the
Okay.
market changes and we've been seeing 15% increase in rental every year.
Okay.
So if you have a 2-year contract, you lose on that increase.
So, what tenants are looking to do in commercial is to safeguard their position,
Long term.
long-term commitments, and on that basis, you can set, a 5 or a 10% increase on the following years, anywhere between 5 to 10%. 5% if you're really, for example, how you guys have done a nice fit out in this office. If I'm spending a lot of money on the unit myself, then I'd obviously negotiate for a lower rent. Otherwise, if I'm
That's what I
taking
did.
Yeah.
What are the chances that you buy a retail and you have a big franchise renting from you? Do they rent or do they
Yeah,
buy like Starbucks, for example?
Yeah, so
That-
we've got, for example, is it Popeye's Chicken? We've got them as a client right now, and the guys that own German Doner Kebab.
Oh yeah, the ones
So-
in our previous office together.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So they're one of our clients at the moment, and they're actively looking. They're looking for a space in JLT. So
And these people pay big, right?
yeah, of course.
They're big.
They will negotiate a little bit harder because again, they'll probably be in there minimum 5 years.
Yeah, minimum.
You
They're
know?
not gonna change their places.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but then they will spend a lot of money on the unit. And from an investor, from a landlord's point of view, they've got a very secure long-term tenant there. These guys are probably going to pay in one check. They'll pay up front. They'll do a lot of money on the fit out. So when the tenant leaves, they leave everything there.
And the value, they increase the value of the property,
Exactly.
and it's a secure.
Exactly. So it's a very case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
You look at the overall package rather than just what the rent is. You might look at the numbers and say, okay, I'm only getting 5-6% ROI. However, they're spending $500,000 on my. So I've just done a lease to a very big brand in Azizi Riviera. The rent is a 3-year lease, so it's 1.5 million over 3 years. Well, just over actually. It starts at 500K. However, they are spending minimum $500,000 on the fit out. So
They're increasing the value of the property.
exactly.
That's very interesting. And in retail, you can, unlike residential, you can win big when it comes to rental. Like you can actually have a big franchise that comes and puts in money and.
Almas Tower I mentioned, just done a lease to a big billion-dollar company. They are starting at, again, I think it was 525 for the first year, but they're going to be in there for a while. And then, I mean, having that kind of a client portfolio, it's an investor's dream,
What is the law when it comes to, breaching the contract? Because we know that the law here protects the tenant a lot when it comes to residential. Is it the same with commercial? Same everything.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
2-month notice, RERA index, everything. Oh, okay.
So one difference I could say you can stipulate this in your contract is you can agree the rent for renewals on a mutual. You don't have to always go by RERA index. So it can be a case that me and my tenant want to, they'll be willing to pay more because by that time the rent has gone a lot higher in other units. So it makes sense for them to pay me not exactly what market rates are, but a little bit more than what they might per RERA, rather than looking for a new unit.
Yeah, that's a pro. Yeah, that's a pro because in residential,
Yeah, you have to go with.
even if you add that as a clause, RERA index still proceeds.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's a legal thing in commercial, but both tenant and landlord are aware of the situation, so it makes sense for them. One of my landlords, I was about to just do a lease for him, and his current tenant was initially moving out. They realized what's going on in the market, and they decided to pay the landlord more and just stay in the same unit.
Smart move. I would never move out
It's
in this
money.
market.
Yeah.
There's no way.
This is what's happened with a lot of people.
So Tanvir, once there's any economical disruption overall in the world, the first sector that gets hit is commercial, correct? Because me right now as a business owner, I'll get once if there's something happens, la qadar Allah, for any reason, I'll get rid of my office, not my home. So I believe that makes this investment risky. So what are the risk management tactics that you follow?
I think it's also important to look at things on a macro scale. We mentioned anything going wrong. With the political situation around the world right now, Dubai has benefited.
Correct. They know how to
So,
bank off everything. I love that. I love that so much.
so for us in Dubai, it's monopolistic on two levels. Anything goes wrong anywhere else, everyone comes here. Okay.
Example.
This is an investor. For example, a lot of the reason for the boom in Dubai is
Ru-
because of Russians investing,
Russia, Ukraine.
right?
Even Sudan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have come here.
Even COVID helped
Yeah.
Dubai.
We've had people literally fly in and say, you know what, I'm just ready to buy something. Show me your best options. They close the deal, and your transfer is done within no time.
Do you think we're recession proof?
Nothing's recession proof.
Do you think?
When COVID hit here, and but then I think it's also important in comparison to others who or which economy does better off than others. I'll look at the UK right now. I'm from the UK, and
Disaster.
honestly, I would not want to move back there.
Disaster.
So, if I was to invest anywhere, to keep it simple, I would be investing in Dubai. And me myself, I was initially going to move to Australia for a long time. I seen the potential in Dubai, and my only regret is I didn't come here sooner. I've been saying this for a long time. I should have come here sooner. Now, when we're talking about commercial itself, again, it's monopolistic on that level as well. Look at JLT, for example. People who've invested there. That example is not only JLT, Business Bay. Anywhere you look.
All the business hubs.
Exactly. I've got. I mean, I can't show it on screen right now, but I've got rates. I was just speaking to one of my colleagues today. The rent in Dubai and JLT last year, I think it was, or was it? Let's say a couple of years ago, because these are his figures from a couple of years ago. They were charging 100 per square foot rent, and I'm talking in the places where you can now get 250 per square foot. That's a massive increase. So again, commercial for us in Dubai or UAE in general is monopolistic. Why? There's no more development coming in. Actually, developers should capitalize on this and start building more commercial. Right now, there is, I think, you guys can probably guide me better, but there's close to 1,000 projects in Dubai.
1,000?
That's what I've been told.
1,000, you mean off-plan launches?
Off-plan no, not launches. Overall projects that are in production, buildings or apartments or tower blocks that are in construction.
1,000 in terms of buildings, maybe, because it's around 44,000 units.
Okay.
So
the majority of them are coming in JVC, I've been told as well. that's
I don't know why people are still buying in JVC.
Yeah, I don't know how and what for.
It's crazy. So
how many out of those are commercial? Do you know?
In JVC?
No, overall out of commercial.
They don't. I don't know why developers don't build commercial.
There's about 3.
And when they do, by the way, they don't sell it.
Yeah.
They keep it to themselves to lease. And that just shows you how strong of a player commercial is.
Yes.
And Mod, for example, does not sell their commercial at all. It's the only sector in their whole company, in the whole giant. Mod is a giant.
Yeah.
It's the only product that they don't sell.
Because it makes sense for them to. Marina Plaza, where our office is, right now they are leasing at like 300 per square foot.
Is it owned? Oh, it's owned by Amar.
Owned by Amar. And it's a very nice office, don't get me wrong, but there's no need for them to sell it. It's a prime building in a prime location. You're next to Marina Mall.
Yeah.
You don't need to sell it. You're making money.
You're making money. You're making more money renting it out. I'm starting to think maybe there's a certain level of control from the government because
possibly.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense that they're not actually releasing commercial. And in every building they do, they release a maximum of 2, 3 if
Yeah.
they do, you know?
So this is what I'm saying. Right now, there's only like three projects approximately which
Mm-hmm.
are there, and one of them, I mean, only a couple of them are really good right
Mm-hmm.
now that we see potential returns in.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the
So
biggest protection point we have is that the supply is very
supply and demand.
limited.
This is
Yeah.
what's driven the price for
This is the
commercial.
whole thing. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the whole
So
game.
supply, there's not enough, and demand. The reason demand has gone through the roof is previously to have a trade license in the UAE, you had to, or in Dubai at least, you had to have a local sort of brand
Partner.
partner,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
That's no longer the
Mm.
case. You, me, anybody can just go and get a trade
Correct.
license,
Yeah.
right? Once this restriction has been lifted, and this is where I really, I moved into commercial for this reason.
That makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
I'd seen my youth, I was doing residential, right?
Mm.
And I had more units in residential,
Mhm.
and I had, I think, a couple of units in commercial. But my phone used to ring all day, every day for commercial. Yeah.
So you're in the situation where you have clients who want things and you don't have it for them. You can't offer it to them.
Stock is not there.
That's your
We-
that's your standard
The
situation.
biggest thing we need right now is grade A offices.
And you don't have.
Nobody.
There's no supply.
There's no supply. There's nothing coming on the market. We're just recycling the same units. You take somebody out of one, put them into another, and put somebody into that one, and same story next year or the year after or whenever they decide to vacate.
So it's there. I mean, it's high risk, high reward, but I don't even think it's that much of a risk right now.
No, anybody investing in commercial right now is making money for the next 3 years at least, guaranteed, because there's no supply.
I'm sold. I'm sold. Like, take my money.
Let's go. Pull out your checkbook. I got something ready for you.
No, take my money for real.
Honestly, anybody going in, if you're buying a small office, you're buying a shop, a warehouse, right up to a full building, you're making money.
In commercial. Mainly capital appreciation.
Mainly
It's
off the-
more for active players, not holders.
Yeah, you've got to know what you're doing. You're not buying ice cream, right? Even with residential, I think it's not something that you can just go into blind. You need to know what you're doing, and it takes a bit of research, but that's what we're there for. We're the professionals. We know what we're doing. I can advise somebody, you know what, based on your strategy, this is going to work and this isn't going to work. So on that sort of a basis, that's where you need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. We've got so many, I mean, you've probably seen it even in residential, poor brokers. We've had,
I think 80% of the brokers are terrible, even 90.
we get people calling us and saying, I've got a client for this unit. I want it 100%, and in JLT, which is a free zone, right? I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Yeah, he's an end user. Okay, so he's got a DMCC license. What's that? How is your?
You have no
how
knowledge. How are you trying to sell?
You haven't got a confirmed client because the guy cannot use the office. So
because Tanvir, the requirement to pass the interview in real estate is to have an arm and a leg. Even one is enough, not even necessarily two.
Yeah, I mean nowadays I think you got AI coming out. So
did you see that?
Yeah,
see the AI cold calling?
Yeah, you see
that's
the
crazy.
Video. Oh my god, I was so surprised. I could not believe
They're
it.
all over the place. I think it's a pretty practical solution, though.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. For us, especially, we don't have enough time. Exactly. Or you could say it's. I mean, you've got to be smart in organizing, but there's so much demand right now. You cannot physically cater for everybody.
No, you can't. You can't. Time is the main thing right now that I'm struggling with in real estate. Really? I can't entertain everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty practical. I think I'm gonna get in touch with those Red Jalebia couple.
Yeah, get somebody to copy your voice.
They can't copy my voice. So now we're gonna move on to our surprise segment. You don't know about this, but we're gonna have a hot wing challenge.
I don't mind food.
But, you look like you can handle spice.
I don't mind spice, but you said challenge, hot wing.
Rapid question, hot wing challenge. So we're gonna be asked the question, and if you don't want to answer, you eat. Or if you don't know the answer, you eat. If you want to answer or you know the answer, you don't eat. First question. Please be easy on us. Largest deal you've closed?
It's technical. I'm gonna say the Riviera one, 1.5 million. It was over 3 years, so yeah, that's probably my largest. That was my largest payout.
Okay, fine.
Wait, what?
38 million.
Worst deal you closed, not as in money, but as in property type.
No, my clients are always good.
Worst one.
Is sometimes people are building management. So I'm gonna say there's two right now. I'm just deciding which one to use. I'm gonna say there's one which is still going on. So let's say the shop I leased in Azizi again. It was the most rewarding, but it was very, very complicated. And it's still complicated.
I sold a very terrible apartment. Like, it was so bad. And I told the client, "Are you sure you want to take it?" But she took it. It was 300K studio in Sports City. 10-year-old building, no balcony. Bad.
Olympic Park.
But I was so embarrassed that I sold this.
Which building?
I can't say. I'll tell you off camera. It's the name of a man. That's a hint. And it starts with H.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know it, right?
Good job.
Oh God, I was so embarrassed. Like, and she put a review, like, they're so honest. I loved their work. I was like,
You feel bad?
"Are you Of course I did." I'm like, "Are you gonna live here?" God bless her. I mean,
Well, I mean, for 300K, what do you expect?
true,
That's like
True.
COVID rates.
true, true, true.
Exact number of commercial units in Dubai, you should know that.
Exact number of commercial units.
That's
In Dubai.
crazy. You're gonna eat that wing. Just eat
Yeah.
it. Just eat it.
that was a trick question.
Just eat it. I'm supposed to know? Oh my God, come on. I don't even have gloves. Are they cold?
Nah, it's too warm. We've been talking too much. Shit, this is hot. Do I have to eat the whole way? I mean, it's alright, but it's gonna burn me inside. No, I'm
Worst agent you've dealt with story.
Worst agent? I'm quite fussy who I work with, to be honest. So if I don't like something from the get-go, I just block them or blank them.
So you don't have a story.
What work?
So he has to eat?
You don't have a
No,
story.
no.
Oh my God, I'm gonna make up a story. Come on, there's gotta be one story with a terrible agent.
No, honestly, I got zero time for bullshit. I got worse client.
Okay.
I can give you that. Who is a broker? She was in real estate, so
So it counts.
kind of counts.
Does it?
Okay.
Does it? No, not really. I don't think it counts. I think you should eat that wing. I don't think it counts.
She was a
She was,
broker.
but no, but the interaction was as a.
Client.
There we go.
But she tried going behind me because she was a broker.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So
But eat that wing.
And then tell us the story.
Yeah.
you haven't said anything yet.
It's still not my turn. Relax.
You're just making one up.
No, I'm not. No, I have a real story. But it was a broker within my company.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So we had a 60 million listing in Emirates Hills. Very nice lady, very nice owner, Pakistani British also. And what we did is we planned an open house event in the house, okay? So we were out in Emirates Hills the whole time shooting videos. We got pro production teams to shoot the villas and everything.
Nice.
And we were distributing brochures all over. Remember that? We were she knows the story, she's already laughing. So I asked her, she got the listing. So I was like, what support do you need? Tell me what you need. So she wanted it to be campaigned, like paid ads on Instagram. And she wanted like brochures to be printed out. So I printed out 500 brochures for her. And I put a budget of 15K for marketing campaign for this villa only. So I supported her fully. She's pretty lazy at the end of the day. She was just lazy. What she did was she went for a couple of days. She distributed brochures. And then she hid the rest of them somewhere where I found them. And she said she finished, she distributed everything. Everything is done. Ruba actually found the brochures hidden in one of the cars. And it was like almost 400 brochures. So she literally distributed 100. And then one day I'm sleeping, right? I wake up, I get a call from someone. He's like, how the hell Did the government give you a license? Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? You are like 8 a.m. Woke me up literally. I was like, what's going on? He was like, how do you even have a brokerage? How do you it was so offensive. He went off. I was like, what's going on? And he was like, you have a girl in your team called this, that. I'm like, yeah. He was like, she met me last week inside Emirates Hills. I had an offer for my property for 50 million from another agency. She told me not to take it, and she showed me a brochure. She was like, I have a listing for 60 million, and I have someone who put an offer for 50 million, and the owner didn't accept it, so he'll take yours. Because the guy got an offer lower than 50M. It was like 45. So she told him, don't take that. I'm going to get you 50M. So he was like, yeah. She convinced him completely. There's no offer. There's nothing. The guy declined that offer, the 45M offer. And the girl, my broker, stopped replying to him. She just wanted the listing, and then she got cornered. She didn't know what to do because she's stupid. The guy like stalked me. He found the company. He found me. He found my number. He called me. Cussed me out. The girl, of course, got terminated the same exact day, and I showed it to the client. I met him for lunch. I apologized. It was actually iftar. It was Ramadan. I met him, apologized, told him this is not how we move at all. Showed him the termination, and took the listing from him. But then we were not the ones who sold it because it was an exclusive. It was sold by another agency. So that's the worst broker I've ever dealt with. And I think she's actually going to be watching this video.
Hi. He's not like
That's so that's so bad. But yeah,
But the thing is, that's the market. There's so many.
it is. Yeah, it is.
This is what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing.
That's true. That's true. How can you tell someone who has a 45M offer that you have a 50M offer guaranteed, and then you stop replying?
What is your least favorite nationality to work with?
Is that allowed?
Yeah,
to
I
say?
think you're gonna get me sacked. I mean,
I don't think we should. I mean, I'm so tempted to answer.
yeah. I mean, I got an answer for you.
Me too.
But
No, I'm gonna eat.
yeah,
I'm gonna eat.
that's a good
I'm not trying to lose no clients. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let us know in the comments if you want to hear more from Tanvir, because the commercial sector of real estate is so much wider than we could cover in 30 minutes. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, join the ride, Real Estate Real Talk, your guide worldwide.